All right, episode 40. I'm not even looking at it, trusting Brennan's artistic vision
Yeah.
here. Oh, no, it's not 40.
I was going to say, is it 40? I think we're at like 38,
38, the great
38 or 39. I don't know.
the great Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
Rhode Island loves Kurt Schilling.
Are we still paying that motherfucker to play video to make video games?
I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah. What do we start? We start off talking about fucking grievous rib injuries at work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the worst I've ever fucked myself up at work.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fuck ups at work, man.
I don't think I fucked my back up once, lifting kegs and shit. But I think that was about it. All my injuries take place outside of work, and then I have to like just work through them like a fucking idiot.
As I think about these, the worst ones that I've got, though, aside from like cuts to my fingers and shit, if you take that out, they're all like leg and shin injuries.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time working at McCormick and Schmick's. It's like a new bar I'm working at, you know what I mean? Working with two people, getting like, busy for the first time and shit. And I don't know how the hell I didn't see it, but the gate to the dishwasher was open, and I just ran into that dude. Like, I hit it so hard I made like a noiseless noise. You know what I mean? Like a pitch only a dog could hear. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. And I had like a bump on my shin.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Nicktoon for months, bro. You know what I mean? Like
the lump that has like the lightning bolts coming off of it. Yeah.
And then another time at the joint that we worked at together, I'm going into the kitchen in like that little like, throughway.
Yeah.
There's like the alleys right here and then the kitchen. And I don't know what I slipped on, but I lost it. Like full in off every extremity off of the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the hell I did it, but I like kicked like the door frame. And that was like another one that took me forever to get over. I was like, I can't believe I fucked myself up that bad.
Yeah.
Like, that one hurt.
Actually, one night at the place we used to work at, I had to fucking take, I think it was like leading up to, I want to say it was like leading up to Valentine's Day, because we were getting rid of like all the four tops, or like a lot of the four tops in the fucking actual restaurant, and we were moving them into the chef's room. But in order to do that, we had to take them out that side door and down the fucking street. And that was back when they had like all of those like empty planters for like all of the fucking trees out in the sidewalk. Like, in the middle of the sidewalk. So I'm like walking behind, and I'm just like, backing up with the fucking table, and then all of a sudden I go to take a step back, and I'm like, why is there no ground here? And I literally like bust my fucking ass like in the middle of the sidewalk with a table then like crushing like into my chest. Like I was down for like a good minute or two. I was like, are you okay? I'm like, I think I broke my entire ass. Like my entire ass is just shattered. Yeah. But even then I was whatever. I was all right.
Bro, I got pushed onto steps when I was in like elementary school, sometime between like the third and the sixth grade.
Yeah.
And I fractured my tailbone. And like I went to the
coccyx.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that word, but I went to the doctors, you know what I mean? And like this motherfucker did not warn me at all.
Yeah.
That he was gonna examine my tailbone from the interior.
So is this like the genesis of you not trusting people with your butt?
Maybe.
So wait a minute, he just shoved his fingers up your butt?
Yeah.
Damn.
I remember it being not pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just like, no!
And to like think about it, now that I think about it harder, like I remember maybe like the first like older lady that I got with, I feel like she was like on her way trying that, just putting like pressure on my gooch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just seeing if I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole, like, she must have felt me be like, huh? Yeah, like, I was like, well, I don't know, but I didn't understand. I didn't even know that was a thing. You know what I mean? I just remember leaving that situation being like, why was she putting like so much pressure?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. That time when maybe we just unlocked a deep psychological issue with your boy.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, anyway,
do we have any doctor listeners? Like, do you shove a finger up a dude's ass if you think he broke his fucking tailbone? That doesn't seem right.
It seems like you should just give me a fucking X-ray.
You should just be able to, send that one out.
You know, we can take pictures of inside of people, yeah.
Or just feel the outside. I mean, it's a tailbone. I can feel my own tailbone right now, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring this up at a family gathering.
I think you got molested, dude.
By a doctor.
Have you ever seen it's like it's two dudes who are like in an interview or whatever, and the first one opens up with these like when I was 8 years old, my best friend's dad molested me, and then the other friend, starts like Stephen Hawking, like mechanical laughing, and they cut to him. I'm guessing you've never seen this before.
Nah.
They cut to the friend, and the guy who just said he got molested was like, "This is so and so or whatever. This is Bill, and Bill's the only person I've ever known that got funnier when he lost the ability to talk." His buddy, I guess, got drunk and like fell off a roof or something one night.
I know of these people.
Yeah. So he's just the punchline though of the whole gag though is he's like in the Stephen Hawking voice thing, it was like, the only thing that was funnier than your cock when you were getting molested was the concrete I landed on. It was like, ha ha ha. It's like, god damn, it's a fucking dark joke.
Darkness, yeah.
I would pay to watch a fucking show with those two kids though. They were hilarious.
I mean, I went on a deep dive trying to find this lady from Kill Tony that I sent you.
Yeah.
She had a real spicy 60. You know how Kill Tony operates?
Yeah, it's like a minute long.
Yeah, and you're just getting drawn at random. It's like comics trying to like make it. You know what I mean? So she goes up there in full blown like slavery is awesome. That was peak America. You know what I mean? And
that's the crowd for it.
no, but they weren't though. Like the crowd ruined her shit.
Yeah.
Like obviously she's not being fucking serious.
Yeah, it's a joke.
She's not at like a KKK rally like screaming this shit. You know what I mean? Like this is a bit. This is a bit at like a comedy house. You know what I mean? So I appreciated it. And I was like, yo, where is this broad? So I started, her name's Helena. I started Googling Helena on Kill Tony, blah, blah, blah. I looked her up on Reddit. And I think she like shut her shit down because she was getting all this hate from like this set. But she says something to the effect of like, if you don't think you'd be having a good time at the auction back of the day with like a fat stack of greenbacks. And then do you know who David Lucas is?
No.
I think he's like just this giant black dude that comes on Kill Tony. He's a comedian too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's like, imagine David Lucas comes out. She's like, the biggest 3 fists you've ever seen. And that is a solid fucking joke.
That's a good line.
And the crowd misses it. You know what I mean? You can see Kill Tony's band in the back, which is all black dudes. The one drummer is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He gets it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the black dudes are laughing at it, and the crowd is just being whack.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, you can't find her. I feel like she's been bullied into
disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When somebody just had to laugh at her joke. It was a solid joke.
Yeah. It is a solid joke. What? I want to agree.
Yeah, you don't want people to burn your new house down.
I don't. At this point, they can. We fucking we're getting like $5,000 to death, like left and right. So fucking. The other day, we were taking a wall down in our fucking house or whatever that was supposed to like make it an open concept. All of a sudden, I look up at the ceiling. I'm like, that shit looks like it's sagging pretty heavy. And lo and behold, there was like a beam that wasn't like on the fucking original. Like our architect didn't know that there was like a beam that like spanned that area that was being held up by the stairs that we had just taken out. So like now we have to like fucking open up our whole ceiling and put like another fucking beam across. So.
Great.
That's white people problems, though. I can live with that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You'll think about that and laugh while you're having Christmas in your open concept.
Pretty much.
What's this about Lex Luthor being dead?
Gene Hackman's dead. Did you hear that? Do you know who Gene Hackman is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know who I thought of when I was like, who is this fucking guy?
Yeah.
Like he's like the guy like making Owen Wilson get home safe in that like Behind Enemy Lines movie.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. And maybe he's in like a submarine or something somewhere.
Crimson Tide. That's a fucking great movie. Crimson Tide, him and Denzel.
I've seen pieces of that.
He's been in a fucking bunch of good movies. You ever see like The French Connection?
Nope.
Definitely not. Why did I even ask that? That's a fucking awesome movie. That movie, I mean, if it wasn't the first car chase, it was like the most famous car chase of like that early like Hollywood era. But the car chase in French Connection is fucking awesome.
That's crazy. The same girl that I suspect tried to put a finger in my butt, she made me watch a car chase with like that green Mustang, which is like all fucking sound and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking
No,
about?
I don't
you don't know
what
that
you mean.
movie?
Yeah.
It's like an older Bullet. It's the Bullet
yeah,
Mustang.
Steve McQueen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say this is the French Connection car chase is better than the Bullet car chase?
Yeah, I mean it's basically famous for its car chase.
Damn.
Yeah. For like how I mean you also have to take into consideration though, I think it was like made in like 1974 or whatever the fuck. So I mean the fact that like they put this shit on like in 1974, you're like, damn, dude, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean if you match it up against the fucking a goddamn car chase in Transformers 2. It's like, all right, well, this is pretty tame compared to that, but nobody's jumping off of fucking cliffs or anything. But
I feel like if you take, I can't. I don't think I can do like specific car chase scenes from the Fast and the Furious. Like it's just all one
yeah, well, that's just it.
big thing to me. So like excluding those movies, I feel like if you make me think car chase scene, The Rock immediately comes to mind.
Oh yeah,
Like they're like
San
running like a
Francisco?
Lambo down
Yeah.
like that fucking big hill.
Yeah.
What are they chasing? Is it a Hummer and a Lambo or
Yes.
something?
Yeah,
And then he hits like a fucking parking meter, and there's this one burnout. Like, dude,
yeah.
you just fucked up your Lambo, man.
And it was also Connery could see his daughter. It's a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That chick, I like the lady that's in that.
Carla was the
you
prom
fucking
queen.
know her name, bro. That's so funny.
That's the line.
Carlo, yeah.
Losers complain about their best.
Yeah.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Excellent quotation.
Carla was the prom queen. That's a fucking awesome
I think
movie.
Sean
They don't make
Con-
movies like that
Doesn't
anymore.
Sean Connery go, really? Like,
No,
I
don't
think
know.
they even have him be, they have him be like a horn dog, even like in
Yeah.
a life-threatening situation.
Well, he was a fucking horn dog, man.
Dude, I had that movie on VHS. I've seen that way
a
too
million
many
times.
times.
Yeah, I think that's pound for pound the best action movie ever made.
I could probably quote a lot of stuff. What's he say about being too wired or something? Like,
I don't know. Nick Cage in it?
yeah, Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
is like bitching to his lady. He's like, I'm tired and I'm wired. Something, I don't know.
Yeah.
He plays a dork in that movie.
Actually, I just watched Terminator 2 with my my middle son yesterday for the first time.
Bro,
Dusted that one off.
I feel like this is going to have to be a thing. Like, Ryan's going to come over and we're all going to watch a movie together for the first
Are
time.
you going to make my kids watch Commando?
Yeah. I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of tying into something else on the list.
What?
Did you say that on purpose?
No, that's just the only
Arnold
movie you saw.
Schwarzenegger's father is like up to no good.
It's still?
I
Isn't
don't,
he-
oh, maybe Zach wrote that on the list.
Yeah,
You don't know- you don't know.
that wasn't me. That was Zach.
Oh, apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger's dad
Was a Nazi?
was a Nazi. Yeah,
I
we
couldn't
can
believe it. I
skip
mean,
that,
he's,
skip that until next time, until Homeboy has further information on that.
Brendan is wearing dad underwear. What's up with that?
I don't know. I
You
had
looking at my underwear?
I was having a conversation with my barber the other day.
Yeah.
And we were essentially like talking about the I don't know what you would call it, how you like age out of your underwear choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when we were in middle school, especially for the time, like it was all boxers. I
Yeah.
feel like boxers, you were sagging a little bit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You had that silly braided belt that hung down too long.
Yep.
And then, they started making boxer briefs that were like not so gay, and you were like, "All right, these are pretty cool."
Yeah.
Like, because before I feel like boxer briefs were just
They were
just-
tidy whities.
They just had a little bit more than the tidy whitey. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you kind of looking at yourself, and you're like, "What am I, fucking European?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about these. And then they started coming down a little more, and you're like, "All right, I can deal with this." And I've been a boxer brief guy for a long time, but then my barber started bitching to me about how they're like too tight. Like if you're a big thighed man,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
I am a big thighed man
he's
too.
like
It's
he's like you got to pull him a little bit and
Yeah.
shit. And then he's like it's almost he's like the tidy going back to the tidy whities is almost where it's at.
yeah.
And I was like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
Well, that's
Like,
not true at all. Because if you're a big thighed guy, you know that going back to the tidy whities, that's fucking Chafe City, especially in this business. Like you
Is it?
start,
Yeah.
you start sweating, dude, and it's just like fat on fat. Like, it's
oh
like fucking,
yeah.
dude, you wouldn't make it fucking 2 hours in a goddamn Saturday night shift without just starting to cry.
Bro,
Yeah.
there's been time, especially when I worked at that joint, bro, I was just pouring sweat the
Yeah.
whole actually any place I ever worked at for that whole company, I'm just fucking sweaty guy. The other joint that I worked at, you wore jeans, which
Yeah.
is not a fun time anyway.
No, yeah.
But I used to like take baby oil gel and just smear it from my fucking the top of the crack of my ass
Yeah.
to like the bottom of like where my pretty much to where my gooch ran into my balls.
Yeah.
And then anywhere that my
Down the
balls
side.
would touch the side of
Yeah.
my legs. Like I would just be a slippery like I would be what your hands
So
are.
slippery.
I would be
Yeah.
what your hands are with the Keith's working man inside
Yeah.
the gloves.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would have to do to my and it I effectively started calling it my nut and butt gel instead of baby oil gel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that sounds weird.
Baby oil gel sounds weird as opposed
Yeah,
to nut
what
and
does a
butt.
grown man with no kids need baby oil gel for? Like it
I mean,
sounds
to-
better if you're
to
just
fuck
being a
other
heathen.
dudes. Ask P Diddy. Yeah.
Yo, I heard that stuff. That's how it was just being smuggled, and it was really G.
Really G?
Isn't that what you call the date rape drug?
Oh, I don't know. Was that so they were smuggling
GHB?
Oh, I don't know. I've always heard it referred to as Rufalin. Is that like a different thing?
I don't know. It's you ever heard like Tom Segura, like way back in the day? He's on like Ari Shafir's show, and he's kind of like talking to like a bar almost, and he tells us his
like
drug story.
Yeah,
how he takes too much.
I haven't heard that story, no, but I know
no?
that show. Yeah.
Well, Segura's on that. I think that's how I got introduced to Tom Segura. But he tells his kind of like, I came home from college. I was kind of, I was always like a drug guy, trying new drugs and shit. And I would drug myself with, I think he's calling it G.
Yeah.
Well, I could be mistaken, though. I think it's short for GHB. I think roofies and GHB are two different things.
Okay.
Roofies are like pills, I think, where GHB is like this liquid. And so when you get it, you're only supposed to take like a water bottle cap of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he is bugging this guy at like the local bar, like, I'm trying to get fucked up. You know what I mean? He's telling this story, and I'm like, this is me. Yeah. This could have easily happened to like Ryan back in the day. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so lucky that I didn't get bad drugs. I really am. Like, the amount of suspect drugs that I have done and not died.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a God...
gotten from suspect
people, too. If there is a God, I am, like, the most ignorant chosen one. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, he's like, look at all of the times I've saved you, and you're still circle jerking with your friends in your basement instead of, like, sharing my good word.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it's actually a miracle that you're still circle jerking in your basement, you know?
You know what?
He's probably going to be like, you're going to meet him, and he's going to be like, I can't believe you made it.
I'm going to be like, the book says you did all this anyway, so fuck it. I'm just living your will.
Yeah. What is Genesis 1:12?
Anyway, Tom Segura takes too much fucking GHB. He's bugging this guy. The guy he's got like a fucking jug of it, right? He hasn't broke it down into like water. Like, I guess when you would buy it back in the day, I have no history with this at all. So don't think I fucking have a GHB either with myself or with broads, but you would get it in like a water bottle. You'd pour like a little water, you know what I'm talking about? Like a regular Poland Springs water bottle.
Yeah.
And they'd use the lines as like the dollar amounts or whatever somehow. And the dosage is just a little cap. You know what I mean? Or half a cap or whatever it is. He fucking drinks it out of the fucking thing. You know what I mean?
So he gets like a mouthful?
Yeah, and goes through
which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking like cap against like a slug,
he goes through the process in his mind. Like, do I spit it back into the jug? He's not going to be happy with that. Do I spit it out the door?
Not going to be happy with that either.
I'm not going to be happy with that. I don't waste things. And he's like, that's like the last fucking memory he's like, I remember going inside, and my girlfriend at the time or whatever, she sat down on my lap, and I just felt great. And then he's like, the next thing I know, I wake up in the hospital, and you know what I mean? The doctor is like, you have failed the drug test for like every fucking thing. Like, what did you take? You know what I mean? And I don't know why I started talking about this GHB Rufalin story to begin with now.
I don't either.
That we've gone over this funny Tom Segura story.
You saw Uncut Gems, right?
Yeah.
But they made another movie called Good Time, and in that movie there's a scene where like, the guy's like trying to rip off this other dude who has like basically like a Sprite bottle filled with like liquid acid. So like he just like tries to like gank it from him. So he's the whole night is about him trying to get like money to bail out his brother, but whatever. So he ganks this fucking bottle or whatever, and at one point in time he's in like a carnival funhouse, and like a security guard, it's like after hours, and a security guard like catches them, and they end up like force feeding the security guard like slugs out of the bottle. And I just remember watching it and just like, because knowing how little acid it takes to just ruin your life.
Yo, that's funny. I'm thinking about like acid.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like LSD. Like LSD.
Like the stuff Reptile spits at you in Mortal Kombat.
Like a fucking, like a fucking Sprite bottle filled with LSD. Like a 12-ounce, like a 16-ounce fucking bottle of acid.
Yeah, Ryan. Plastic holds acid.
Well, whatever. So the fucking guy, like, they force him to like take like 4 big swigs of it, and I just remember being like, oh my god, like I could never imagine being that fucked up on acid. Like that dude he's gonna lose his mind.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh god, that shit gives me a panic attack whenever I like see any fucking shit like that or hear about shit like that.
People go crazy with it. Yeah, I remember one time Mike Tyson was on a podcast, and he's like, I eat shrooms like a motherfucker. And they're like, how much do you eat? And he's like an eighth. And that's nuts. Like, I split an eighth of hydroponic mushrooms, I think, with my friend the first time I tripped. And it was probably the most intense trip I've ever had.
Yeah.
And that's what, 1.7 grams? And he just has a fucking...
Full eighth? Not the
Like, and he's
Yeah.
just munching them, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. And I had that feeling of like, oh.
Not to mention
And
they're
it's
not.
like that's how I feel. I feel like that's how I know I'm done with drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as a younger man, I would watch that and be like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
Oh, my
God.
I mean, not to mention getting an eighth of mushrooms down is no easy task. I mean, they're like dry
Yeah.
and shitty. They don't taste good. Like, oh man.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to think because I know I got mushrooms that look like that again, and maybe we just made tea with them,
Yeah.
or just the first experience, you're never gonna trip as hard or something like
yeah.
that.
No, yeah. I
but-
mean, the first time is always the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember the come down from that, bro, being horrible.
Yeah.
Like I had to call my friend and be like, I hate myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fucking
And then I
flood
like,
of
told him I did
serotonin.
drugs, and he was like, I think it's just this. And I was like, nah.
Could just be the drugs, man.
Nah,
Yeah.
dude, I fucking hate myself, dude.
Yeah. Did we get there with the underwear thing somehow?
Yeah.
Is that how we began that?
I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
all right, so I mean, let's circle back to that. Maybe
Circle
it
back
will
to
all
underwear.
come back to us. So my
Yeah.
boy, Jerry, my barber, was like telling me you got to rip the things on the boxer briefs a little bit.
Yeah.
And dude, I do know how we got all back to this now. So we were talking about using the baby oil gel and calling it nut and butt gel, and then you brought up Diddy, and we were saying that the GHB. So Diddy was getting. It looks like it's baby oil gel,
Yeah.
or baby oil, but it's really
Actually
It's
GHB.
really GHB.
Yeah.
So that's
So it's even worse.
so that's that. Yes.
Yeah.
And somebody just said too that like they found a bunch of like underground, like Diddy's house is like connected to the Playboy Mansion with like underground tunnels and shit like this. And I've heard about the underground tunnel
Yeah.
thing from the Playboy Mansion before. So if that goes to Diddy's,
like the
and-
worst version of the Underground Railroad.
and Michael Jackson's house
Yeah.
is connected to that as well, I guess.
Oh shit.
So
You know who's on the Epstein list? Did you see it?
no,
It's fucking Michael Jackson. Just saying. He was one of the
bro, I'm surprised
flight
he's not the fucking pilot of the plane, dude. Are you kidding me? Like you go, like this is how they get you. They take you to the carnival at Michael Jackson's house with
Yeah.
the fucking petting zoo and the roller coasters, and then they get you all fucked up on the baby oil,
Yeah.
and then they put you on the plane, and then all of a sudden
You're on Epstein
you're
Island.
sucking dick
Yep.
on Epstein's island.
Which, I mean, so did you see that they released a bunch of shit or whatever?
No, I didn't see nothing.
Well-
Is Adam Sandler's name on it?
No.
Yes.
The list is actually pretty not all that cool. I mean, and also like a lot of them. I think it's basically like the same list that they've known for a while, but now it's just like released to the
It's
public.
like that list that got leaked, and they're like, hold
yeah.
on.
Well, yeah, and it has the Clintons and the Trumps on it, so it's kind of just like, all right. Al Gore was on it too. Leonardo DiCaprio was on it too, which was kind of like, oh, I wish that wasn't the case. You
Yeah,
know?
but how old was he? 'Cause he's a child actor, so we could have got.
Maybe he was getting
Coulda
butt
got-
fucked there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I doubt it though. You
don't be fucking making a whole lifetime of fucking 25-year-old and under girls because you don't have some trauma to deal with and you're fucking,
I don't know, or you're just the one bequeathing trauma on people.
or you're just the man.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a couple people where you're just kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. And even then, though, I got to thinking about it anyway, and it was kind of like a lot of them are just people that were in his Rolodex, like in his black book, so to speak, So it's kind of like, I don't know, unless they were on the flight logs, like the Clintons and the Trumps and shit, they were on the flight logs. So they're going to that fucking island. Same with like the lawyer, I can't remember his fucking name. But like, you could kind of probably sift out like which ones were there to fuck little kids, But like if you're just like known by Jeffrey Epstein, like in his Rolodex, it's kind of like, I don't know, is that like that big of a deal? Like I'm sure, just to give you an example, like your fucking boy who was, arrested or whatever for whatever his fucking shit was, like you're in his phone probably, Like does that make
Bro,
you?
I got that motherfucker jobs. My
Yeah.
phone is at his
Yeah.
address. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
So I'm just saying, like you kind of can't really fault people for just like knowing who Jeffrey Epstein is, Especially if they're like working in those circuits.
well, I mean, if you know,
Even if you go to the island, to be perfectly honest, I bet you there's like, there's butt fucking kids island, and then there's also probably like, hey, I'm just
grab him by the pussy island.
yeah, well that too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though, like if because Hillary and Bill are on that list, it's kind of like I don't know, man. If Bill's going to the island with Hillary, I kind of don't think he's fucking kids while he's there.
I just saw this clip of Bill Clinton on, I think it's like Cat Williams' podcast.
Yeah,
But he's like explaining, like, he's like, oh, I think he's just basically saying, like, nobody's prepared to deal with like a terror attack. You know what I mean? And he's like, when when Al Gore and George Bush were running against each other, they didn't ask them what they were going to do if the Twin Towers collapsed. They didn't ask them what they were going to do when the Pentagon got bombed.
Yeah. Yeah. What's going on?
What happened to the Pentagon?
We got hit by a plane? Yeah.
Bill Clinton in this interview says that the
Oh,
Pentagon
that's what he said?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So and he says that as like an older Bill Clinton. So
Yeah.
it's just like a Freudian slip. Did he
Yeah.
just fucking mistake, the first Twin Tower attack as a bombing, and he said the Pentagon instead or whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But it's definitely like, hey.
Yeah.
And then, like my algorithm right now definitely knows that I love me some 9/11 shit. Dude.
Yeah. I'm surprised it didn't blast you with the Epstein shit then, because that's all it did to me the day it got released.
I don't know.
And I don't even care that much.
Bro, I feel like it heard me telling it that I don't want to see the feet anymore. And now it's weird. It's like showing me like fucking like chicks that are like too lanky with small titties and like bikinis. And it's just like, I've clicked on too many of the wrong thumbnails.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be like, I feel like this is like some, like now you're like, oh, you don't want to see feet? Now I'm going to trick you into clicking on trannies instead.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking Zach. Zach's doing that to you.
Oh.
I got to stop clicking on Zach shit. Yeah. Yeah. He's
That
ruining my algorithm.
Fucker, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it tuned in how I liked
Yeah.
it. You sending me all this fucking silly stuff. Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
Oh, well, so we're back to the fucking men talking about underpants in the barbershop.
Okay.
You know
Well,
what I
we're
mean?
going to finish this thought.
Yeah, so we just go back to that, and I was like, bro, that's got to be like the most dad shit ever. Like you graduate, you're like back to wearing the New Balance, and my barber is I don't think he wants to accept the fact that he's getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's still keeping up with like the new trends. He's a little younger than me, but he's still wearing like the Yeezys and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but there isn't one cool Yeezy from
No.
like a sneakerhead guy that's been buying Jordans since they came out for the first fucking time. Every Yeezy sucks.
Yeah.
Like those ones that look like Crocs are fucking stupid.
They're the stupidest
The
ones
ones
of
that
all.
look like Wave Runners are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
The ones that look like LA Gears from back in the day are fucking stupid. Maybe the ones that look like LA Gears are the first ones that I'm talking about that came out on Nike and not Adidas.
Yeah.
Those maybe are the most tolerable ones that I'll deal with. But everything he puts out is just like he looked at like the underground culture in the Matrix and like the people who survived the Terminator Holocaust and the Terminators and was like, what are they wearing?
Yeah.
Here's some patchy shirts and some shitty, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so Yeezy suck. My boy's still wearing them and keep getting sidetracked. And because he's wearing New Balances. Like New Balances are getting cool again. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, those shoes are for predators and for people who still have a dream of playing baseball.
They're
one
lawn
day.
mowing shoes.
Huh?
They're lawn mowing shoes.
Yeah, but like if you're still play like semi-pro baseball, I could see how you're still wearing New Balances. So maybe I'll give you a pass on that.
All right.
But still, no. Still, I'm like, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was just checking to make
We're
sure.
being paranoid. So I just said, now I'm like roasting my barber. I was like, bro, you got the New Balances on. You're hating on the fucking boxer briefs. Like you just got to embrace being a dad and like knock your girl up and put the old man underwear back on.
Put the nail in the coffin.
And then like in the back of my head, like as I'm having that thought and speech, I'm like, does Brennan wear
old man underwear.
the dad underpants? He has to. He has three boys.
I rock the fucking the performance underwear because of the reason.
You've given me that.
stated.
What's the
Yeah.
shout out again? Who makes them? Duluth.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Oh,
I rock Adidas. I rock Adidas fucking performance. Like I will rock like runners underwear for that reason.
Yeah.
because it's just like the only shit that will
I
like
think you do.
stop the chafing.
Yeah, like the one I bought.
I'm willing to look into Duluth though if somebody else fucking said so.
I think somebody did say that. Who the fuck did we have on like the
well, because the
what
was
what
that
other-
Jameson maybe? Jameson seems like a Duluth guy.
Maybe. I mean, he's walking around all day.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could have been Ryan. Like Ryan's, I feel like on the
Yeah.
cutting edge of
Oh yeah, he's
not
definitely
suffering.
he's on the cutting edge of not suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta figure all that shit out because yeah, my wife every now and again because my wife buys all my clothes because I don't give a fuck anymore because I've given up. So she buys me sometimes like underwear that isn't like knockoff or it's like a knockoff Adidas performance shit, and then I'll start getting chafing and I won't notice because like the Adidas like insignia will look kind of like the real one except it'll be like backwards and it'll say like whatever.
Yeah.
So like I'll get halfway through a shift and be like, fucking knock off underwear. Or she'll buy me
I'm gonna go
fucking
home and beat my wife.
I'm gonna fucking beat your ass for this. What did you do to me? Oh, or she'll buy me fucking underwear that doesn't have dick holes in it. Have you seen this phenomenon? Like some of those fucking performance like fucking underwear don't have dick holes in them. So you have
I
to
don't like
pull
that.
all your shit down just to
Yeah.
like take a piss. It's like there's no way of me like, and I never know that it's not there until I start looking for it. So now
Yeah,
I'm in the
yeah.
fucking front of the urinal looking like a fucking lunatic. Like I can't find my dick in here. It's like,
did I put my shit on backwards?
yeah. Or then by then I have to like literally rip the fucking thing out, and just shove my dick out the bottom of it, and just be like, there you go, fucking
wow.
pissing, you know.
Oh, because it's so stretchy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
or you know,
I gotcha.
I'm also just lazy, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna fucking unbuckle my pants. I'm already in
I
there.
mean, I've seen this debate before on like Barstool, I think, and
Yeah.
there's guys whose minds are blown by men that have the ability to do this. So I guess you and I are just more endowed than the average man, but there were dudes on this thing being like, I couldn't even like my dick's not long enough to pull it out of the dick hole. Like I have to take
Damn, that's so sad.
I guess, yeah. I don't know what that's, but that's a thing, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I've seen it. My first roommate gave me some Asian porn, and there's fucking
Baby dicks?
nothing but
Yeah.
tiny peckers on there. I was like, I can't even. I'm sad about this. Like,
I mean, yeah.
it's like I've been watching this guy who bought a cabin in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that is. I think it's on this side
Yeah, no,
of
it's
the
in-
coast. I
yeah,
know it's in
it's-
Canada, but I don't know. I think it's up
It's like
there.
Nova Scotia way, I think. You
I
know?
don't think it's in the Pacific side. I think it's on the Atlantic
Yeah,
side.
Nova Scotia's
So
on
this
the
guy-
Atlantic side.
He's like updating pretty currently. Like I think he just posted like up to like February 25th or something like that. That was
Yeah.
like whatever the 2nd to the 25th or something like that was how long this movie that he took made. But he bought this dilapidated cabin on you got to take a boat there and take another boat, you know what I mean? And he fucking, fixed it up, lived there through the whole winter, and like this dude's the man. Like I can't even believe all the life skills that this guy has.
Yeah.
And again, I've lost myself onto why I'm bringing because so the second edition comes up and now his lady's up there, right? He's got the house enough to where he can bring his lady. She's up there helping out, you know what I mean? She's being a good like partner in crime.
Yeah.
There's no running water. Every day they got to take their little 3-wheeler thing with these buckets of water to this well. They got to drop the bucket in, fill it up. You know what I mean? Like they got to chop down firewood every day. Like they are living like the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Essentially. Like they're going to die from dysentery real quick.
Cholera.
And, so
They have to caulk their wagon to make it across the river.
yes.
Yeah.
So I start watching this, and the episode opens with them going on the well run for the water, right? And my wife's brother has this thing about water. Like he goes to like local springs and like fills up these fucking jugs. You know what I mean? And he doesn't drink like tap water unless it's like a fucking dire emergency. He's drinking this like locally sourced, I don't know, Mountain Man water.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yo,
Even that's polluted though with like fucking heavy metals usually, like because of groundwater and shit. Yeah.
nah, it's like,
Like where is he? He's not doing this in Pawtucket, is he?
no, but it's not like he's going to like a spring and like doing. It's like
Yeah.
a well that he's going. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
alright,
Like these
yeah.
like frontier wells or whatever you want to call them. Regardless, I know this dude likes his autism water,
Yeah.
right? And this dude's fucking peaking on autism water right now.
Yeah.
And I had already sent him the first video of being like, look at this fucking guy killing it. You know what I mean? I got no response to it. Must have been out camping or whatever. He does shit like that. So then I see the water and I'm like, bro, I got to send you the follow-up shit, you know? So I send him that. And then I go, my wife had already started laying down for the night. So I got it on my phone. I go and I like lay down on her and I'm like, look at this shit. You know what I mean? I don't tell her why I'm like having her watch it.
Yeah.
She doesn't even really get to the part like in the video where they're getting the water. She just sees them out in the snow in like their coveralls, you know what I mean? Riding a 3-wheeler together. And she's like, just watching this is making me so fucking cold and so sad for them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They love it though.
that's her not being like a drug person. It's like, that's the same response that came to her is us watching guys do too many hallucinogens at once. You know what I mean? Like that same, like her just watching them walk in the snow and ride a motorcycle in the snow. She's like, oh. And like us, we have to like see people dosed
Taking
with
a bunch of acid
the
to be like, you
ultimate-
can't do
Yeah.
that.
We have to see somebody potentially have the saddest day of their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the saddest week of their life at that point.
Yeah, no shit, dude. You drink that much fucking acid, like, forget it, man. You're gone for fucking weeks.
That's like the myth about the dude. You ever heard the myth about the guy in the
guy who
insane
thinks he's
asylum?
the orange
That's
juice.
the orange juice.
Yeah. I feel like that's
So
kind of
many
an urban
teachers
legend, though.
lied to us about that,
Yeah.
bro. Like fucking bullshit.
I mean, I've met some kids who took a fucking lot of acid, man, and granted, a lot of them were fucking weirdos, but I never met anyone that lost their fucking mind. You know?
You ever like like do you have any current relationship with anybody that you know used to be or is currently like an acid or trip head or anything like that?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like most of like all the ones that were like into hallucinogens when I was growing up, kind of like just made their way out of it. Like, I don't think that's like the kind of thing where you usually stay in it like into your 40s and 50s unless you're really fucked up. You know, it's all the
Yeah.
kids that were on opiates and shit that like, you know, are still like
Like
doing heroin or smoking crack. You know, it's like, yeah,
I know a guy who's like he's like a sober guy for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he does get fucked up on the hallucinogens.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I
it's
mean?
just
It's
they,
just like
I know people who still do it like recreationally from time to time, but not like anyone who like regularly takes acid or regularly eats mushrooms. You know,
I just think you have
as a 41-year-old at least.
I know this is this one person that I'm thinking of, and it's like him and this lady, and they like go out in public.
Yeah.
Like I could never imagine taking that dosage of that and just like going out and especially like having to worry about somebody else fucking losing their mind too
Yeah.
that you care about. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like your significant other. Like I'd be worried that my wife is gonna fucking freak out
Oh yeah.
and lose her fucking mind. Like what? We're going out in public?
Yeah.
Fuck that. Like I'll go to the beach. Let's go for like a nighttime walk on the beach or some shit. But I'm not going to the beach during the day.
Yeah.
And like running, even the few times that I took those micro doses and we went to Congress after
Yeah.
work, there'd be so many people talking to me and so many other conversations going around that I would just be like, I
can't
get
focus in.
the
Yeah.
fuck out of here
Yeah.
right now. Like, yeah, I got to leave.
Yeah. Anytime I ever took acid or whatever, I'm like, I had the benefit of like growing up in a town where literally there was only 4,000 people. So we would always just do it like in the woods or something.
Yeah.
But even that kind of like had like its own like things. It's like you're in the dark woods, like around a campfire, tripping on acid, and you're just kind of like at any point in time, anything could be coming out of the woods or coming through the darkness. Every little noise is like amplified in your head. Like it's just like kind of bug out material now that I think about it. But yeah, I had a buddy though who took like he would just like take acid like all the time to the point where you just have to have such a strong mind to do that. You have to have such the ability to just let go. Because the moment you try and like hold on to it, that's when it fucking turns on you.
Yeah.
You know? And so he would just like drop like so much fucking acid that it would almost honestly make me feel like a pussy. Because I would just be like, there's no like I would be like, I'm gonna try and match you, and he's like, don't do that. And I was like, all right, I won't. I'm going to do half of what you do. And then I would do half, and I would be bugging, and he would just be like laying on the roof of his car, and he'd just be like, yeah, you shouldn't have even taken that much. It's like, fuck you, dude. Don't tell me that now. Like, god damn. Yeah. But yeah, now he's a fucking weirdo, but now he's like, you know, he works like a radio station or something. He's like a normal, I wouldn't say that. He's a guy. He pays taxes, so that's good, you know? But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I can just feel like when I interact with people that I can be like I can feel that you're like not even fully in this dimension right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like a lot of them kind of have that.
Like I can almost like sense the aura. You know what I mean? Like as you're talking to me, I'm
like you've touched the edges of the universe.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, all right, Starman. I know this petty conversation right now that we're having isn't close to the inside of the sun that you've brethren with, but
yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Is I feel like anybody who's gotten in further down, like far enough into the hallucinogen like wormhole, they've all come to like ayahuasca, which you know.
I want to do that one day. You know what makes
I do and I don't, but yes, I that's the only drug I would come out of retirement for though.
Yeah.
Like just to do it once. But even then, like
think...
I don't know if somebody sat me down and said, I'm going to make sure I'm going to hire you a shaman, I'm going to do everything for you. All you have to do is show up to like, you know, X hotel room at X o'clock. Like, I don't know if I would actually do it. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm thinking I would, but when the rubber hit the road, like maybe I wouldn't.
I have two thoughts.
Yeah.
One, I feel like the narrative is that you throw up and you shit all over yourself.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. I think that's why.
It sounds like a bad start.
When like the Aztecs would do it, they would like fast, and they would also like bleed themselves.
Yeah.
And then take crazy drugs. Like those guys must have been on the in a whole different universe.
Well, even then, like I'm pretty sure, like the shamans that like usher you into this journey or whatever, they tell you like, hey, for the month leading up to it, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do anything, like no impurities, like try to like eat little, try to drink a lot of water, like you're basically flushing your body of toxins.
Yeah,
because like the idea is that like anything
we
you
only
have
want these toxins to fuck with your brain.
I was gonna say anything you have inside of your body right now, it's gonna get amplified on fucking ayahuasca. So like you gotta be living clean, because otherwise you're gonna like fucking lose it, But I mean, I don't know. Everyone says it's a fucking spiritual experience, It's as close as you're gonna get to God.
That brings me into my second point, though. Like I feel like my superpower is like conquering my depression on a daily basis, and it makes me funny.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, do you want to just be a schnook?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You want to never.
How about I fix you? It's like I don't want to be.
Yeah,
fixed.
it's like like I kind of like being able to crack a little joke at the worst trauma.
I was gonna say,
you know what I mean? Like
my depression has become the only friend I have.
Like I would definitely be talking shit to like the serial killer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what ayahuasca is basically. It's DMT. It's that shit that gets released in your brain when you're dying. So it's kind of just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the last fucking frontier, so to speak, to kind of bring yourself face to face with.
I might have spoke about this, but there's some guy who was like a pioneer in this industry back in the day. He might have been like the one who made LSD or whatever. But like when his time came to die, like his wife brought this batch that he had cooked up for himself, and that was his instructions. Like when there's nothing left and they're gonna pull the plug on me, like instead of pulling the plug, just shoot me up with this.
Yeah.
And she was like, she brought it to like the room, and the doctor was like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, this is what he wants. And the doctor was like, fuck it. Get somebody
Kevorkian style?
Somebody who's like educated. No, but it wasn't a death drug. It was like a fucking just the ultimate dose of hallucinogens.
Yeah.
And DMT and fucking ayahuasca and everything. And he just wanted to go out to, like, you know what I mean? The last fucking electrodes in his brain just tripping his fucking balls off. Like,
I wonder if that was Timothy Leary. That's the guy in the 60s or whatever who like popularized like LSD.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he like wrote a book. I can't remember what the fuck it was called, but
I mean, any guy that writes a book probably sounds like something there.
No, that shit's wild though. There's definitely like shit in your brain that you can unlock. I just don't know if that's necessarily something you want to unlock,
Dude, that's
bit of
like,
a Pandora's box situation.
That unlocking your brain stuff ties into like the fucking Anunnaki and us being created as a fucking labor force slave race.
Yeah.
And being left here for a flood to annihilate, and them being like, you survived the flood?
Fucking cockroaches.
Holy
man.
shit. Yeah, basically. They made us too good.
There's no way Nicole Brown Simpson wasn't fucking crazy. How's that?
There's just no way.
Just apropos of nothing. Just nothing like that. Yeah, she's just had to have been nuts.
I mean, I probably had some kind of, it was probably talking about OJ or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I was just like, holy shit, think about this. Like, there's no way. Like, you matched up with fucking OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
Right? You put up with all that stuff. Like, I don't know. You're not a victim. You're just the one that lost the fight.
I mean, she got murdered, so she's a victim. I would say.
She's a loser.
Also, I think leading up to it, he was beating the shit out of her, wasn't he? So
yeah, maybe because she was fucking crazy. Like, I just think
fair.
I just think there's no way. There's no way as a lady you put yourself in a situation like that where you're not crazy to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, well, the unfortunate reality is a lot of those
like
women stay because of, other like mental illnesses that they're kind of suffering from, but
both ladies in their prime, who's giving you a more memorable night? Long Island Medium or Nicole Brown Simpson? Like, that's a level of crazy that leaves an ember burning in your soul.
That's true.
It's
very poetic.
You think about that as your wife injects you with a super dose of hallucinogens right before you lose control of everything and let go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You want to hear about a crazy thing? This is how crazy I am. You know about this band, The Idols?
No, well, you sent me it, and I admittedly never watched it. Yeah.
So I saw these guys probably like 6 months ago, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being like, wow, they're fucking unique. And I never, maybe, I just kept scrolling or I saw it and I got distracted. I never went on a deep dive about them. So then they show up on the Tiny Desk concert. You know about this?
Yeah. It's like a podcast kind of thing where it's like a little, yeah.
It's literally like a room like this big, and there's a tiny desk, and they set up like Mac Miller has a really famous one who's probably some white rapper you don't know about.
I know who he is.
And there's a few, I can't remember. Juvenile had a really, really good one because he's kind of singing fucking like Back That Ass Up and shit with like real instruments and stuff in the background. You know what I mean?
Was Mr. Cal with him?
I believe he was, dude. Mr. Cal might have his own one.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of them if you look them up. So anyway, I see him on this, right? And this guy's got this the whole band has this like crazy aura to him. I'm like watching him. I'm like, yo, this is like organized chaos. This is fucking rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the guys are playing multiple instruments. Like I don't know much about music, but I do know about like those things you set up that play loops and shit.
Yeah.
If you got a lot of those, you're probably a fucking musical nerd. You know what I mean? And they got all this fucking hardware and shit going on. And the way that I don't know, I was just like, yo, this is fucking some dope ass fucking rock and roll. You know what I mean? And the way that the guy isn't really singing, he's like screaming about shit. And I was like, these guys are fucking cool, bro. You know? So then I'm watching them even more. The live stuff is better than the studio stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm watching them. And there's one point I'm watching this live show, and they do these like funny little dances and stuff. And they're from like the British islands somewhere. Like they're not English. They're fucking some other shit. You know?
Like Welsh or something.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah. They talk like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, they a lot of the lyrics and stuff, it's almost like it's like they're talking like Snatch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have like these different sayings and stuff, and you're like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? And you got to like look it up. You know, like it's almost this funny shit. So I'm watching like another live piece, and I'm like really feeling these guys. And then the lead singer, he said something like, he's like, I need to see a little sass in the crowd, and just the way he said that, like, let's get sassy. And I was like, what, bro?
What? It can't.
What?
But is it a little effeminate?
A little effeminate. So then I go, all right, where's the fucking Wikipedia at? Right? I fucking start doing idols, current members. He's the only one with a Wikipedia page, right?
Yeah.
Scroll down, personal. This motherfucker identifies as a bisexual. And I said, God damn it.
So what?
God damn it.
You don't like Queen?
No.
Why not?
And now even the more I think about it, I don't fucking want to be listening to the Rolling Stones or Marilyn Manson anymore because they're both fucking glorified pickle smoochers.
I was going to say, I hate to have bad news about Mick Jagger, but
I just
definitely
can't
doing some gay
get
stuff.
behind like these guys. Like I'm like, oh, this is like some fucking Viking music or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like some world conquering shit, and not like I just can't get behind being like doing the hoorah to like a fucking pickle smoocher, dude. Like I just can't. I love you. I want you to have a great life, but I'm not getting behind your battle cry. I just don't know.
There's nothing more Viking than fucking dudes. I promise you.
Yeah, I guess on that show. That's why I stopped watching that show about the Vikings.
Yeah. Just saying.
They made like a priest have like a fucking 2-dude, 1-girl threesome, and I was like, I don't want to watch this show anymore. What the fuck? What the fuck? And now I've been they got this one catchy song right, and the video to it is like they ripped off Super Nintendo Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You know, like the dude gets like electrocuted by the bad guy, and it looks like he got hit by
Like
Blanca.
Yeah.
And the buildings kind of look like Rampage. You know the game Rampage?
Yeah,
so it's like
giant monkey and
very
shit. Yeah.
fucking nostalgic, great fucking tunes. The way that the drums come in, the way that they do everything is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
why can't you just enjoy it?
I'm trying to. And then
He's not asking you to touch his dick.
He could be.
I don't think
He could be
is.
singing about it. You tricked me into singing along with it.
I mean, if he is singing about it, at least he speaks Welsh, so it's not like you'd understand it anyway.
It all circles back to that doctor not asking me if it was okay.
Just touching your butt.
To separate my butthole.
Now you can't listen to good music. Yeah, but I mean, that's fucking whatever, dude. The lead singer, tons of bands are fucking gay or fucking, bi or whatever, man. Who gives a shit? David Bowie, honestly, pound for pound, could be like my favorite artist of all time. Yeah, maybe not that, but I fucking love David Bowie. He's like the fucking most gender fluid dude you could possibly imagine. He definitely was fucking dudes.
He's
both
fucking
ways.
Mick Jagger, bro.
Yeah. If you see that video, what was that fucking terrible video of them dancing?
I can't think of one David Bowie video or photo where I'm not like,
yeah. Whatever, though.
this
Fucking
motherfucker
music's
wears
good,
the
man.
first edition of boxer briefs.
If you could listen to the song Life on Mars and at the end of it be like, I'm not going to listen to this ever again because he's gay, like, I just don't know what to tell you, man. That's a fucking great song. Like, it's a fucking great song. Dudes can fuck dudes. It's okay. I don't want to fuck dudes.
Yeah, but if
That's
you sing
okay.
along to the music that the dudes who fuck dudes make, you kind of on your way to fucking dudes.
That's not true at all.
I think it is.
No, it isn't.
I think it is, bro.
Oh, my God.
You're like opening the door. You're like walking down that yellow brick road.
I've never gotten to the
Sticky
end of
brick road.
Ziggy Stardust and said to myself, ooh, you know what I could go for? A
Some
nice
cock.
big dick in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know? It's just it's never happened, you know? Like, you know, and I've lived long enough and heard that song enough times to know that if it were going to happen, it would have by now, you know?
You know what's funny? So I find all this out, right? This happened to me like a 72-hour time span. You know what I mean? I'm like telling everybody, you don't know about the Idols? You know about Idols, bro? Idols is fucking rock and roll, bro. I'm telling everybody how much I love gay porn. You know what I mean?
That's not true.
And now I'm going to go back and like everybody be like, yo, did I tell you about Idols? Never mind. So I go to work right after this whole thing. I was listening to him on the way to the airport, getting jacked up, you know? And I go in, and now there was a temporary bit out, and now the kid who broke his ankle is back, right? And it's my man Leo. My man Leo's gay. Love him. He's a great worker. He runs my food. We have a good work shit going on, you know? So I get back in my car.
If he runs your food, you know, that's just one step closer
I know.
to sucking his
You're
cock,
going to get me
you
on
know?
this. So I get back in my car, and I'm like, see? And I have the same thing you're saying. Ryan, it's okay.
Yeah.
You had a good time working with Leo today? He wasn't trying to fuck you. Everything's just fine. And then I was like, nope, I'm putting Project Pat radio on. I'm listening to this on the way home.
Jesus Christ. Just enjoy your life.
And Project
if you
Pat-
like this music, just listen to it.
Project Pat is like famous also for like talking shit about Diddy without saying it back in the day.
Yeah.
Like they have like this interview where they're like, yo, if you're fucking a girl in a room and there's another guy in the room, he's staring at your ass. And that shit is gay. And Project Pat and 3
was
6
on that?
Mafia
Yeah.
ain't gay. And like when the whole Diddy shit broke, they're like, yo, they were talking about Diddy when they said that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, black dudes aren't very accepting of gay guys, that's for sure.
I don't know, dude. Every gangbang video is fucking black dudes, man. That shit is kind of gay.
Yeah.
That shit's pretty gay.
Gangbangs are kind of gay.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, I'm not going to defend gangbanging
Like
people.
some of me, it's like it sees. I'm like, yeah, girl, you nasty, and then it gets into it. I'm like, this is fucking gay, bro.
Yeah.
There's too many dicks.
Yeah.
There's too many dicks in this.
Well, that and also, like, you know, if you're the first couple, maybe, but like after like 17
Yeah, that too,
dudes
like,
have
you
been
wanna
there,
be
it's
in
like, I
there?
don't want to be in there.
Yeah,
I think I'm all set. Well, that's why when you look at the fucking gangbang video, like it always starts strong with like the two or three like good-looking porn stars to start with, and then all of a sudden you just see like the fucking high
That's when the
school
small
high
white
school
dicks
gym
start showing
teacher
up.
roll out, and you're just like, that guy shouldn't count, you know?
Yeah.
Like, little fat-bellied fucking 3-inch wiener. Like, come on.
Yeah, that is fine. I've heard somebody else bring that up before. That
Yeah.
like you can get. It's like some redneck like making his friend say that he's gay without knowing it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he's like basically like he tricks his friend into being like basically saying like, I don't want to see porn with any small dicks in it. And it's like, well, what do you want? What do you mean? Why do you care so much about the guy's dick size? Da, 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 da. I wish I could remember the joke because it's a solid one, but
I don't know, though. It's true, though. You just want to, you know what? I compare it to like my drug taking days. I just want to see, I want to test the bounds of human limits, you know? I don't want to see porn of some average sized dick going into some average sized vagina. I want to see like an enormous cock going into like a gaping fucking hole. I want to see what the fuck like human beings can get resort to, you know?
you're like, let him do steroid. Like the Bill Burr. He's like, I just want to see a pectoral muscle fucking in the fucking ball into the
I'm just
fucking.
saying, nobody like, you know, watches like a fucking, you know, a 4-story apartment building getting built and says, wow, that's incredible. You see a fucking skyscraper and you're like, look what fucking human beings can do.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's what I want to see. That's what
I
I'm
just
paying
think it's
money.
stupid.
I'm not paying money.
I
but
just
whatever.
think that I guess that's
What is the business model of porn? Could you explain that to me? I don't know what it is. I haven't paid for porn in my entire life. Like, not $1 of my money has gone into anything porn related. How the fuck are these people making money?
I don't know. I mean, I bought a bunch of magazines back in the day. I definitely got trapped in the Girls Gone Wild subscription where, like, I let 20 of them come to my house before I finally got my act together and canceled
Like,
it.
I'm not even looking at these.
But it was like for $20, sure, I'll take fucking next month's one. What do you got?
That's
you know?
just it. I feel like I've always been like in this like agrarian barter system when it comes to porno, where like, pornos were like wine keys. I don't know how I ended up with 20 of them, but somehow I have 20 of them. Like, that's how pornos were back in the day.
Yeah.
It was like you were constantly like switching pornos with like everybody, whether it's magazines or tapes or whatever. And it's like, I don't really even remember ever buying my first one. I kind of just accrued this like collection of porno, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that's
And then
more,
once the internet happened, like then it was like, oh, word, we just don't have to pay for
Yeah.
anything anymore.
that's more accurate for like the VHS ones, I feel like.
Yeah.
You don't know how you got the VHS ones. But I do
Yeah.
I do remember getting to the point where I had enough DVDs where I had to put them in like a CD
sleeve.
binder
Yeah.
instead, and I was like, what are you doing, Ryan?
I feel like though that by the time DVDs were around, that was when like you could just go online and just find porno like everywhere.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's still like it was still at the point because I remember this crossroads in my life where it was like, do I want to go through the process? Like, it was easier to queue up a DVD
Yeah.
and play that shit than it was to go like on the internet and like download the three 3-minute long thumbnails.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
And
It
then
did take a
load 'em.
while. You had to have like a library. You had to like basically be looking for porn like when you didn't want to like jerk off.
Yeah.
like you had to like
Oh, no, you
accrue
just-
enough porn for your next time that you wanted to jerk off.
That's what I did. I would
Yeah.
just save them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or wherever I got to the thing, you know what I mean? You just queue them up in the media player.
Yeah.
So I feel like, did you want to go through that harvesting Bitcoin process? You know what I mean? Or did you just want to throw on Girls Gone Wild 12
Yeah.
and put it on the scene that you knew you liked, and you were good to go?
Yeah.
And at that point, you probably still had some magazines in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
That's another funny thing I remember. I lived in Tampa, and there's a famous like adult toy bookstore, whatever, called the Todd.
Yeah.
Right. So we would go there like as a joke at first. This is where we got all those dirty magazines to play that prank on my friend Katie.
Yep.
And we like put porn everywhere in her
Yeah.
house, like in between all her plates, behind her kitchen cabinets, like in between the pages of her current magazines that didn't even have.
Have porn in them.
Yeah, like it was terrible. And she was like a Jehovah's Witness, and her family would come visit her. So
Yeah.
we were like, it was diabolical. We shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, Katie.
Yeah.
But it was my friend Nick's girlfriend. We were pranksters. Bam Margera was cool. All he did was lash out at people that he loved, and
Yeah.
we learned from him.
It was your love
So
language.
It's my heartogram.
Yeah.
So anyway, now I'm like, holy shit, like look at the smut that is available. And it was kind of like, I guess it was the phasing out. So these magazines were in like these 2 or 3 packs for like cheaper than you could buy a DVD for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck it, let me see
Basically giving them away. Yeah.
what's up with this. And, as a young horn dog, you become familiar with your certain magazines and pictorial sets that you like. And you're like, oh, let me get this one,
Yeah.
You'd be thinking about that on your way home from Red Lobster. Be like, all right, I'm going to get this broad going.
Can't wait to rub one out
Yeah.
to this. Yeah.
And I had a roommate at the time, and I remember being like, yo, like, where is this magazine? I know I didn't lose this fucking magazine. And so I had to go like a dad and be like, is it under this motherfucker's mattress? And it was under his motherfucking mattress, right? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you used to steal your roommate's porno magazines and jerk off to that shit? There's no
That's
way that
kinda
wasn't.
gay.
That's
kinda
gay.
It's kind of gay.
And like, I should have just left it, right? But I was like, this is my property. I'm
Yeah.
reclaiming this. And this would be a thing that would happen a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he'd be taking him, I would take him back. I wouldn't say nothing. I would just hope that he would get the point. Like, hey, man, I see what you're doing here. They're not like magically making their way back to my room. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
And it never stopped. And now that kid never accepted my Facebook friend request. He doesn't want to be friends with me anymore.
Because you don't have porno anymore than he needs.
Yeah, but I feel like
It was a one-sided relationship, my
by
friend.
all his pictures, I feel like he's hanging out with this guy.
Oh.
And this is the same kid that was like a Mormon, and his family would come and try to convince him not to be a bad kid. And there's like coke and weed and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
remnants of
And meanwhile, you have to be
crazy
like,
beer
do you
pong
know how
game.
much your son's jerking off in my fucking apartment?
That never came up.
No, didn't.
No. Maybe the family stopped coming around once the magazine library exchange became a thing. But yeah, anyway, I found him, like as I used to be a kid that was like, social media is fucking stupid. I'm never joining, right?
Yeah.
And now I can't get off my fucking phone,
Yeah.
right?
Now
So-
you're cited as like the person I'm always like, well, I'm not on it as much as he is, at least.
Yeah. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking Brandon Novak to your Bam Margera.
Maybe.
Brandon Novak's the guy that does like heroin and like
Yeah,
lets
yeah, I
guys
know.
suck his dick for money. That's weird. That's me.
I got news for you. If you admit to having guys suck your dick for money, you are definitely sucking that guy's dicks for money.
How come he doesn't talk about that in his recovery journey?
Because
He's shy?
yeah. Well, because the opposite. It's like it's like when you fucking find.
I'm saying you're saying something. I'm saying you might as well just say it.
All I'm saying though is that if
You
you,
don't wanna
expect
be
me
like-
to believe he didn't suck one dude's dick for money, you're out of your mind.
I just
the
need-
moment you cross that line has been crossed.
Yeah.
There's no getting back over it.
Somebody-
It's like, you always find fucking girls who are like, "Oh no, I'm a cocktail waitress at the strip club." It's like weird that all I'm meeting are the cocktail waitresses. Nobody strips at these fucking places anymore. Like it's the same thing,
Bro, you
know?
want to hear another funny story? My college girlfriend was a cocktail waitress at a strip club, right? And
Okay.
then but she was always like she was like a hustler, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't think she was like cheating on me. She could have been, who knows? But I didn't have those suspicions then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So later in my life, one of my friends is like, she did like naked magazine pictures, right? And then I'm like, dude, I like my response to that was like, bro, it's gotta just be like a lookalike. There's no way she would ever do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so dumb that my lady who I held in high regard would even allow herself to work as a cocktail waitress at a strip club. I'm like, she would never do that.
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot, bro.
You lived the plot of the Jay Giles band song.
I think about that
Yeah.
every time
The
I fucking hear
Centerfold
that
song?
song. Yeah.
It's like, no, that's me.
Yeah. I got to send that to my boy and tell him about that. That's funny. That's a good one.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Oh, but what were we talking? Oh, so that kid, right? He's Jehovah's Witness, right? Or not a Jehovah's, a Mormon,
yeah.
Away from the family and shit. And it's like, like maybe he only had like Playboys in the Mormon country.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he
I
comes and
would be surprised if he even had those.
he comes and he sees my porn collection, and that's what got him into those juicy cocks that he loves now.
Yeah. So you turned your boy gay.
I think so.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, it is a slippery slope. He's probably listening to too much David Bowie.
That's crazy. Like, what if it was like a bullet that was coming for me? And being a golden...
Like you matrixed out of being
no,
gay?
no, I didn't do it. Clearly, we've figured out that I'm a golden child of Jesus.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah. Get Teflon over to this kid. He's a fucking Mormon. He's not Catholic.
Yeah.
He's not one of the chosen people. You don't think so?
What, the Mormons are the chosen people?
No.
Oh, that you were
Catholics,
supposed to be gay?
Notre Dame, Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
I'm chosen.
Yeah, obviously.
That's it.
Yeah. I think the Jews are the chosen ones, aren't they?
I think that's what they say.
That's why they keep getting away with everything.
Yes.
Lady at table 8.
Oh, man. This was the shift that I was talking to you about before we started filming.
Yeah.
Where I was like only busy for like the first 2 hours and the last 2 hours, right? So she sits down. So I tried, let's recap, right? So this place has a variety of tables, right? Some 2s, some 4s.
Yeah.
Every jerk off that comes in there, right? And this is like a towny place. Most of the people know the deal, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the first person telling you, hey, can you use a little common sense and courtesy and not take the big table if you're only 2 people?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
2s belong at 2s, 4s belong at 4s. Yeah.
and I try to be nice about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've come up with the thing where, like, if people just sit themselves, I bring the menus over and I say, hey, guys, if it gets busy, I might just ask you to move to a smaller table, okay?
Yeah.
But take it for now. And sometimes people will be like, oh, we didn't think about it. They'll get up and leave on their own. And other times people will continue being ignorant pieces of shit
Yeah.
and still sitting there and then not play along when it comes time. You know what I mean? If and when the situation does happen,
Yeah.
that I need you to fucking move so I can make money off of a 4-top and not your dumbass 2-top. That's probably... So this lady sits down. There's a 4-top that is by the fireplace, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, we should move this 4-top away from the fireplace. You know what I mean? Because it would stop people from having this, because, well, I want to sit by the fire. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So this lady, and now we have a sign by the door, too, that says, please wait to be seated.
Yeah.
Everybody acts like they can't see that. So she goes and she sits down and she says, we sit here all the time. That's how, you know what I mean?
I hate you already, but yeah, continue.
Already, okay, great. And I'm like, listen, I try to run a loose ship. I go, we might have to rearrange how everybody's seating. If it does get crazy, I say it happens out of nowhere. You can't ever predict it. I say, but here's your menus. I'll be back. Of course, you're just going to have water.
Yeah.
That's how we're starting out lunch serve. We just want water. We're not drinking today. Okay, great. So we're going to take a 4-top, 2 waters. Wonderful. This lady asked me to like she sees the place filling up. You know what I mean? And she's continuing to make me answer question after question of like, if you would just read the fucking menu,
Yeah.
you wouldn't
I-
have any fucking questions.
I wish
you know
all
what
of
I
this,
mean?
information was provided for you somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, look in your fucking
And she's
hands.
being like she's talking to me like with her hands, almost as if she's doing the thing that they do at Yankee Stadium. You know what I mean? Like trying to like
psych you out.
no, like trying to like. To me, it kind of like made me feel. It's like, lady, I'm not your fucking slave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not dressing you today. Like you have to like perform some things to
You need to make
play
it on your
along
own
in society. Yes. And like I want to say that it's like her daughter that's sitting there, right? And you can tell she's kind of like embarrassed, you know? So blah, blah, blah. She's a pain in my ass. They sit there for forever. Like they had to have been there for 2 hours. They only drink the waters. They get takeout boxes. They need multiple different takeout boxes because they don't want stuff touching, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
So they're a pain in your ass, and to boot, it's like they took up a 4-top, and it was probably like a fucking $55 bill.
Not even.
Yeah.
You know, they left me $15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you left me $15 in the time. I probably could have turned that 4-top like twice.
Yeah.
And made at least like $30. You know what I mean? And so then she's like wrapping things up. And this is what really made the thing memorable to me, right? Because it's like I don't forget much when you tell me. Like I get in the zone when I go to work, you know? And so I remember you saying, we sit here all the time. And I'm like, all right, like I've only been working this schedule. How long ago did Lana leave? 3 months or 4 months ago? Something like that.
Yeah.
You know, all right, it's plausible. I haven't seen you yet. You know what I mean? You've been on an off schedule lately. You're getting back to things. But it's like at this point, like if you come in here on a Monday or a Saturday, I fucking know you.
Right.
You know? I don't fucking know you, lady. So then, you know, she's
And I'd remember you because you're a pain in my fucking ass.
pain in my fucking ass, dude. And special instructions to boot as well with everything. Special instructions on the salad, on the scallops. So then she hits me at the end. She goes, you know, we haven't been here in a long time. Well, that's interesting.
The story ain't adding up.
Yeah, because when you sat down at the table that you shouldn't have sat down at, and you clearly knew you shouldn't have sat down at, you had a story for me about how you sit here all the time.
Yeah.
And then in your closing remarks, you're telling me, you know, we haven't really been here in a long time. It's like, all right, lady, I remember you for life. And the next time you come in here, I'm just going to make sure that you have an awful fucking experience.
Yeah.
But I probably won't remember her, and I'll smile at her.
Probably not. Well, no, it usually
her
takes me.
water.
I'll
You know what will
recognize
give her away is her fucking...
the hands.
her hands.
Yeah, and you'd be like, oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, I feel like I get like 2 sentences into like people sitting at the bar before I'm like, I fucking remember you, you know?
And you know what sucks? I'm so pre-programmed to be like, hey, guys. And it's like, I'll already get that out and be like...
I want to take that back.
Yeah.
I don't care how you're doing today.
There's a funny story that fuck, I can't remember his name. He's a New York rapper, Jadakiss. But he tells
We're hitting them all. Yeah.
He tells-
Jadakiss, Mystical.
he tells a story about how they went out and they dap up Nori, I think, who's they're seeing. And there's this random guy. Or maybe it's Nori that's out and he's dapping everybody up and he daps the random guy up. And then later on, he's like, oh, fuck, that guy's not with the crew that I just said hi to. So he pulls Jadakiss aside. He goes, yo, that's not anybody's man's. He goes, nah, bro, that's just some fucking guy. You know what I mean? And so the guy walks up to him. He goes, he didn't say nothing. He goes, this is hood sign language. He goes, like looking at him like this. And he goes, and he like revert. He took his dap back.
He like
took
reversed
his dap
him?
back. Yeah, like he goes, this is sign language on the steroids.
Yeah.
Like, and of course he says the N-word like a million times, so I can't directly quote what he
yeah.
says. But look it up.
You could, but it would be
It's a funny,
it'd be wild.
It's a funny situation.
Yeah. Bartending in general, and really the service industry in general, has just ruined me on social interactions of all kind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to the bank the other day, and like I'm waiting in line, and like one of the fucking bank tellers, rather than opening up another line, which was another fucking thing that annoyed me, decided that it was like appropriate to like, she saw I was wearing a Lions hat and was like, I like the Lions too. They're my NFC team. I'm a Bills fan and blah, blah, blah. And we should have won this year. And I can't believe it. And I went to one of their Super Bowls and I met Barry Sanders once. And I'm just sitting there in line like, when the fuck is this going to end? And I finally got to the front of the line. I finally made my deposit, and I'm walking out the door, and this bitch has not shut up the entire time. And like normally, a normal person would be like, I don't know, maybe a normal person would be annoyed too, but I feel like I watch people engage like in conversations like this, and everyone else seems to be happy about it. Everyone else is willing to like put on like the fake social like fake hate on the outside, but I'm not. But I'm just walking out the door, and I'm like, not only did I fucking hate that, but like I'm never coming to this bank again.
Nice.
I have to find another bank to go to because I don't even want to have accidentally a conversation like this ever again. Like, I don't know. Like, all those people, like, I see them too, like, the place I work, like, they're fake as hell, and they, like, they're all friendly and shit, and I guess people like it, and they come back for it, but I would never come back to a restaurant. Like,
I think that's what it is,
I would
dude.
never want to be a fucking regular anywhere. Like, ever. And I never have been. I will never regularly go to any restaurant just because I do not want to talk to you on the regular basis about anything in my life.
I mean, I go to the same restaurants regularly, but I do not have a server.
A rapport. Yeah, you don't have like a guy that you go to or somebody you see like on a regular basis.
I know the manager. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like Renee and I used to work with the manager back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's like we have a rapport with her, but it's not like, hey, can you sit us in Billy's section or
Right.
something? You know what I mean? There is one guy that I prefer, but I don't know his fucking name.
Yeah, perfect.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's
and
like,
you're willing to just go in and be like, maybe I'll get that guy today. And
you
if
know
you
what?
don't, you just like, well, I guess that's not going to happen.
he's like
Yeah.
a personality clone of my man Ray from back in the day. So
Yeah.
like I'll never learn his name. It's just like fucking Ray from Red Stripe Ray. Like
Yeah.
that's what his name is to me. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what I call him. That's sad.
That's
you know?
not sad. That's
But I
absolutely
think-
how it should be.
I think it plays into what you're saying though, where it's like normal people aren't forced into this much social interaction. They
Yeah.
yearn for what we hate.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
a normal person would have left like that. Like I'm just thinking of like my boy's mom that comes in all the time.
Yeah.
If somebody was that nice to her at the bank, she would have left them like a Yelp review.
Yeah.
She would have been like, I'm
coming back here
they're
every day.
So friendly at this bank.
Yeah.
Or even my Nana. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she would have loved it.
Yeah.
She would have loved it. And meanwhile, you're like sitting there like being like,
Meanwhile, I'm literally Googling other Bank of Americas in the area. Like, where do I have to go now?
you know what,
Yeah.
lady? I only wear hats of teams that I don't like. I hope that my bad mood ruins the Lions season next year.
Yeah, well, now I got to fucking spend the whole offseason rooting against the Bills. It's like, I don't want this bitch to ever be happy.
And you know what, dude? Like, I'm guilty of this, of like claiming my NFC team or whatever.
Yeah.
But you won't catch me like talking sports. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's my second favorite
Yeah.
team. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I only got one team. You know what I mean? Like, unless Tom Brady's playing for somebody else, I only got one team.
Yeah.
I was sad to see KG and Paul Pierce get traded to the Nets, but I never cheered for him one time.
Yeah.
I was sad to see obviously Johnny Damon went to the Yankees. I'm trying to think like other famous. Wes Welker on the Broncos, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like any situation like that,
Yeah.
except for Tom Brady, fuck you. And actually, now that Tommy's gone, fuck the Roman circus anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm never paying attention like I used to again.
Yeah. Well, that's why my brother gave me like a whole rash of shit because I rocked the Patriots hoodie to the Red Sox game or whatever. But I've reached the age, man, where I'm just like, I just don't want to stand out in a crowd. And I'm
Yeah.
glad I didn't, because the people who were sitting in front of me at that Red Sox game, like, because I was going to rock like my fucking Lions jersey or something like that, something, neutral, to not even like the same sport. The guy in front of me at that fucking game was wearing a Tigers jersey. I would have had to sit there and
Yeah.
talk to that motherfucker about the Lions for 2.5 hours when all I wanted to do was take my son to a baseball game. It's like, people just don't have any social decorum anymore, where it's just like, I'm here, you're there, you're not me, I'm not you, don't talk to me. All I want to do is sit here and watch the fucking game, man.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. And to be perfectly honest, because of our fucking profession, it's like, I get enough of this
That's what it is.
anyway,
dude. Yeah.
And then all of my social battery I have to save for my wife so that way she doesn't divorce me. Because honestly, if I had it my way, the moment I clocked out of work, I would never speak I would turn into a fucking like Swiss Alp monk, where I would just like not say a fucking word for like 18 consecutive hours, Like the only thing I talk about at my house is just like yes or no answered questions to my wife,
You know what's crazy?
What's up?
like I feel like I would come like back in the day when we worked together, my wife, she'd be like, how was work today, babe?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would fucking explode. You know what I mean? Like I carried so much fucking rage.
Yeah.
And now, like, no matter where I work at, she's like, how was work today, babe? And I was like, a fucking joke.
Yeah.
It was a fucking joke. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like I no longer carry any like
Malice.
Yeah, like this place is fucking killing me or blah blah. Like I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with like I don't pool anymore. I don't have to work with any other. I don't share my money with anybody.
Yeah.
Like in every situation that I work at now, it's like I don't have anybody to tip out.
And
if
you
I have
also
a shitty day,
Yeah.
it's all my fault. If I have a good day, it's all my fault. Like,
and you also work at 2 spots where like all you have is like the moment you clock in to the moment you clock out. Nobody calls you on your day off. You're not supposed to be making a drink list. You're not
Yeah.
coming up with new
Yeah.
cocktails. You're not doing any bullshit outside of your own free time. You're not going to Restaurant Depot because some fucking idiot forgot this.
Yeah.
Like all it is just I clock in, I clock out, and then the rest of my time is my time.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, just for instance, I have to wrap this up in about 15 minutes because I got to go in early to my fucking job so I can fucking do all the shit that nobody else did
Yeah.
and then talk about a bunch of drinks that are going to get shot down by our borderline autistic owner. You know, it's like that's great. I can't wait. It's gonna be great. Anyway.
When I had my blow up, he like sent me this thing about how he was disappointed in how I handled it and everything. I just left him on red.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the most appropriate.
Well, I mean, they don't actually care anyway.
No.
So.
But I mean, if we want to close it out on some hospitality, like this thing right here, it always comes up in like my algorithm, like basically where it's like the server doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Why are they getting a tip at all? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go in the comment section of these posts like this, and it's just all these like disgruntled chefs and line cooks and stuff like saying all of the same stuff, and it's like you can't seriously be this ignorant.
In what way?
Like,
I mean, they're right to not to expect more of the pie. They don't, you know. I fully admit that the system that we work in is unfortunately skewed in our favor, but that's not going to make me want to give them any of my money. You know, like
yeah, but
yeah.
I'm not even saying that. Like, I do typically give like I will give the chefs some bread. Like if it's a crazy night, you know what I mean? Like I'll leave you with like fucking. I don't know, man. If you tip out all of the cooks and dishwashers at the one spot that I work at, it's like a $40 fucking nice guy move.
Yeah.
Like I didn't not do nothing for that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then at the airport, I guess, you know, you can throw, if you spend $40, you're giving essentially, I don't know, $13 a piece. There's a dishwasher and 2 cooks as compared to like 4 guys that you would tip out at the other spot. You know what I mean? But still, even if you give everybody $5, you're still, that's a $100 bill that you got a 20% tip on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to them, especially most of the people in the back of the house, they cannot handle like direct confrontation with anything. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the skills necessary to like handle the public with how they treat us. Like you would be burnt out from that in no time. Like it is an acquired skill to be able to like brush things off, laugh in the face of danger, like calm situations down. Like, you know what? Like they just don't get that. And I don't understand how, I don't know. I don't want to say that the back of the house is like a bunch of like ignorant fucking idiots, but it's like, if you don't understand that there is an acquired skill to doing the front of the house job and that they're not just all a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're both, they're both
don't...
skilled jobs. However, if you want to say to me, hey, both of these positions get paid the same amount of money, I would say, I'm going to learn how to make salads then. And it's not going to be that hard. You know, like I would find it hard to believe that they could then in turn go out into the section and then operate that section like I do.
Yeah. But
whereas I think after a week or two, I could make a salad just as fucking fast as you can make a salad.
Well, let's take it to like you're essentially going to with that model, you're going to fire up the kitchen about the pool house just as much as the front of the house gets fired up about the pool house. Because now you're saying that the entry level position, which tends to be, hey, you're doing desserts, making salads and shucking oysters and putting fucking shrimp cocktails on beds of ice.
Yeah.
That's the same position in the pool house, the same hourly rate as the guy fucking running the grill and making sure all the tickets are coming out in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same plate that, like, why does a service bartender make the same amount of money as the worst fucking server?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the gap in skill level and the appropriateness for the person with the more skills to be fired up about making the same amount of money during the rush as the bum who's not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like you'd have that same situation. I feel like going on in the kitchen.
Right.
So like if all things appropriate, then if we're all making the same amount of money,
Oh shit.
then the most desired position would be the pantry cook.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
What's up, fat boy?
This fucking guest appearance here.
Yeah. I mean, we don't got the 3 screens set up, so I don't know. You're just gonna have to make a.
Must be nice to just roll out of bed at fucking 1:15 in the afternoon.
You want to turn his headset up? We can get down to the bottom of this Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff. Brendan's got to leave soon, so.
Hey.
Bing bang boom.
Coming in for the end.
Coming in to make Herman Gurman proud and discuss Arnold Schwarzenegger's devious ties to the
Herman Goering.
Nazi regime.
I mean, he's a famous figure. You should be able to spell his fucking name.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
What about this? What about this Cheshire home invasion, Zachary?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess this is like old news from like 2019. I guess that happened back then, but I just realized it now. I just saw something recently that one of the dudes who committed the Cheshire home invasion transitioned in jail.
Oh, he was one of like
Oh.
the people that everyone was all pissed off about?
He's a
Yeah.
real slickster.
And I wonder if they gave him a cell phone in jail too, because he likes taking pictures of naked girls.
He's taking pictures of what?
That was bad. He doesn't. Do you get it?
I don't get it. I don't think anyone knows what the fuck you're talking about. What is the Cheshire home invasion?
You don't know what that was like a big thing.
I don't know. Do you
You
know
know
what
what is this? Connecticut news?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like national news. The dude was on Oprah. The father survived, was on Oprah. He got like a second wife and everything. People hated him.
Oh shit. They hated him because he got a second wife?
Yeah, I know.
It's like a
bullshit.
suspicious
But
thing?
You guys never heard about
Nah,
that?
I
It
don't
was
know
like
about it.
national news in like the early 2000s.
Nah.
Oh no. Oh, you know, I do remember that.
It was like these two dudes followed this mom and these
Yeah.
two daughters home from the grocery store and then just fucking burnt the house down and killed them. And
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was bad. But they were supposed to get the death penalty and then they took it away. And then he gets the transition in jail and go to the women's prison or whatever. So,
And then they wrote The Matrix.
yeah.
Anyway.
I thought you would have known about it.
No, now I remember it. It's definitely, yeah. I was thinking it was like, I thought you were saying 2019 like it just happened.
No, I thought
That's
it
when
just
the guy
happened. Yeah,
transitioned,
that's when
maybe.
the guy transitioned.
Yeah. No, this was a long time ago.
yeah, that was
yeah.
it was a long, long time ago.
Yeah. Like I remember this like as when I was like still living in Connecticut.
I mean,
That's
is that
what I
where,
was gonna- yeah.
like them getting the death penalty, is that where this death row peanut butter and jelly sandwich came into play?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly where that came
You just want your
from.
final picture to be like the fucking special needs room at lunchtime with the fucking
This
peanut
is the
butter
peanut
smeared
butter
all over
table.
their face. Yeah.
So yeah, your final meal would be PB and J.
big ass PB&J,
Yeah.
just sloppy, like
Stop saying sloppy.
My final
No,
meal
I
would be
want
that
sloppy.
homeless man's ass from last episode.
Ew.
See, that's like the crowd reaction that ruined that girl's fucking joke.
Yeah. Sorry.
Did you see that joke about the fucking 3-fist compromise on Kill Tony? It's like this girl that looks like she's inbred from the Appalachians.
No.
Oh my god.
Wait, was it last night?
No, it's older. They like booed her. Like Tony's punchline back to her was like, and it must have been a long travel here from the Civil War.
No, I never
No?
seen it. If I seen it, maybe.
We'll have to bring it up. It might be too spicy to
You seen
to bring on.
You seen SNL?
Shane?
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really fuck with SNL anymore.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I fuck with Shane, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I wish he would just tell them to get fucked.
Yeah, well, that's just
You know
it.
what I
Like,
mean?
I
Like,
like anything I've liked of Shane. It's like it hasn't been in that format, where it's kind of like do your own thing. Like you're better
Yeah,
at it.
like my
anyway.
whole
Yeah.
thing was like, oh, when I would explain Shane to people who had never seen him before, like when I first got into it, it was like, oh, this guy fucking SNL canned him for some bullshit and he just did it on his own.
Yeah.
And it's
he
like, well,
makes
why
so
are
much
you
money
fucking...
now on his own that it's kind of like a fuck you.
Oh yeah, he's way better
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, it's
Or it's like
But I would almost pull a Norm Macdonald and be horrible on purpose. Like I would just ruin it.
Well, his
Well, first of all,
his
Norm Macdonald's
monologue
not,
was- his
Norm Macdonald's
monologue
not
was
horrible.
fucking-
Norm Macdonald's awesome on fucking SNL.
No, but
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what? You know how Norm Macdonald would go on
Yeah.
other things. Like he's on a roast and he just tells the most awful jokes.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And
Well,
like,
no, the other comics were laughing
They
because
get
they
it.
they knew what he was doing.
yeah, but that's what I would do. I would just ruin Like the one girl who left Melrose Place to do a movie with Carrot Top. They're all on
Yes.
Conan O'Brien together. And like Norm Macdonald just fucking ruins like
I have a
every
good name for that
segment, like-
movie.
Yeah.
Box Office Poison.
I bet they spelled chairman of the
And
board B-O-R-E-D.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
like
great. Did you see his monologue though? That was pretty like
I think I saw the monologue.
the whole premise of it was when white dudes get a girlfriend, like it's the first question they want to ask.
Oh,
They don't
about
wanna
black
ask
dudes.
It too
Yeah,
early.
yeah.
And then he does the whole and then he goes on and on about some Civil War thing, and people are kind of losing him. And then he ties it all back as the letter that the Civil War dude wrote to his lady down the line or whatever. He's like, "Have you ever been with a?"
Oh, see, I must
then
have
it-
missed. I must have.
dude, it
That
was-
must have not because I saw this on like a reel.
Yeah, the
You know what I
only
mean? Like somebody had chopped it up into like reels. Like I didn't see the entire
Oh.
monologue. So like that, how he saved it at the end must have ran out of time on that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
the only thing I saw was him just coming to the point with one of his jokes where he was like, "I don't know how to get out of this joke."
Oh, yeah, that was in
Yeah.
the monologue. They had a sketch though that was hysterical. It was two white news anchors and two black news anchors arguing over they wouldn't say the race of the person in the news headline until like they would describe the thing a little bit. And it was just them keeping score back and forth. Like, you were like,
oh, I saw that. It's something
Oh,
about
dude,
meth, right? Like
yeah, one thing about meth, and the black news anchor's like, all right, 1-0. and then Shane or somebody's like, what the fuck you mean? They're like, meth, that's clearly Walter White. Boom.
yeah.
That's a point for us. And then they were going back and forth. It was awesome. That one was great. And it was like, SNL doesn't do shit like that all the time. 'Cause I've
Yeah,
seen,
no.
I've
They
seen
used to
a
be way
couple of
more
them.
edgy. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. it
the
was-
news
yeah,
updates
it
and
was
shit used to go hard. I mean, they still do now. I kind of guess they have Michael Che and that other guy.
Yeah,
You,
that
got-
was
you don't watch it, but they
that
yeah.
was that. Yeah, I was gonna say the Weekend Report, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That was.
but
it
they
was
make
funny.
them say the headlines of the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like write each other's jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really found Saturday Night Live to be all that funny for the past like 30 years, but on the regular at least. Like every now and again you'll get like a good episode or something or a good host, but like I just don't really think any of the cast members are all that funny.
Aside from like the
Yeah.
heyday of like Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, David Spade, you know
Even
what I
the
mean?
Adam
Like,
Sandler years, you forget Adam Sandler was barely on SNL. Like
for like 3 years or something like that.
I'm just saying though, even when he was a cast member though, think of all of like the sketches that Adam Sandler was in. He was like in a handful. You know, for the most part, that was like Chris Farley, that was like Dana Carvey, that was Mike
Yeah.
Myers and shit. Like he was like a ancillary piece. And when he went off to do his own thing, like he stopped doing SNL at that point. You know,
Yo, speaking of Mike Myers, the opening sketch was kind of gay, but Mike Myers playing Elon Musk was fucking hysterical, dude. He got the mannerisms down.
yeah.
And it's-
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, I
it-
gotta watch it, man. I
it
missed out on a
was-
bunch of good shit.
I just found out that Elon Musk has like 14 kids.
You didn't know that?
No, I knew he had like kids. I didn't realize he was like
With like, a
that's
bunch of different ladies,
Yeah.
right? He's like trying to like procreate.
I was
as
gonna
much
say
as
that's like some
possible.
egomaniac shit there.
No
Like
You
shit.
think?
Didn't we
you got
talk
to
about-
try to be having 14 kids, like unless you're Antonio Cromartie or something, like But if you're a dude of Elon Musk's like knowledge and capability, you're just straight out there impregnating people. Like
Did we not
that's
talk about
weird.
this?
He's like doing the same thing that Nick Cannon's doing.
Oh,
yeah, but that's
He's just like finding female specimens that he's like, I'd like to have a half clone with that thing.
yeah.
You know? Fuck
But
it.
that's just all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel
you're
like
really-
I'm gonna get myself in trouble racist wise.
If you're trying to put your son in the best position to succeed, like, why are you not fucking like giant, tall black ladies?
who me personally,
Anybody.
yeah, no,
Any white man, like, if you're like, I want a better life for my son,
yeah.
well, he's not get a little pro sports mixed in there
Oh,
and
I
a
would-
little bit of
yeah.
height. Like,
I would impregnate fucking
fuck
Serena
the-
Williams all day.
yeah, but she's not even like big enough, thick enough, tall enough.
She
Not
isn't?
even. She's a gateway.
She's a gateway. So what am I supposed to like find like a fucking like 7 foot tall? Like,
Yes.
I have to find the minute bowl of women.
Yes, you need like the tall chick from that. What's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where it's like a Conan the Barbarian? You need the
Yeah.
the lady with the bow staff.
Yeah,
You need her.
she was same chick in fucking Rocky 4, right? Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you
The
who was
Russian
in
bitch?
Rocky 4.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, all I have left is terrible, terrible things that I don't want to be,
terrible
that I
things.
want to be made public.
All right. Okay. What's I don't know. You got anything, Zach? You brought anything to the table?
No, I thought I was gonna come in at the last second. Like
You
the,
did.
Like the last.
You did.
minute.
He's got to go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
That's
He's got a
all
drink
I.
menu
That's
to
all I
roll
thought
out.
I would
Yeah.
contribute was absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, you can. Thanks for joining us. Like, share, and subscribe. Brennan's got to get the fuck out of here.
I do. All right.
You got to do the naming. You guys come up with the name.
I don't know actually.
I don't know if we got a good name yet.
Yeah, I usually figure it out in the re-listen.
Reminiscing
You know,
about
when I
homeless
bleep
man's
out all of
ass.
Ryan's N words.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Peace.
Later.